We're so excited to see you pick up here with Sneed in season two of The Artful Dodger. Where do we find him when we come back here?
Well, when we find Snead this season, he's finally achieved his dream of becoming head surgeon, but you'll find that he's physically and emotionally pushed to breaking point as he tries to run a hospital that is completely overrun in every way. So
Understaffed, to
yeah,
say the
understaffed.
least.
It's looking bleak for Sneedy at the start of this season.
How does his opinion of Jack evolve since season one?
I
Maybe
think
it
at the
hasn't.
no, it definitely has. It definitely has. Love is on the horizon. Not that sort of love, bromance love. Uh, at the end of season one, we see a real change in Sneed where he slowly starts to let go of all his rigid conservative beliefs and all his concerns about reputation, and finally admits that Jack is the best surgeon that he has ever met after the surgery on Bell. I guess I can give stuff away because the season's out,
Yes,
right?
out. The whole
Yeah.
season's out. Yes.
Okay, cool. So, at the end of season two, it was such an exciting beat to play. I think it was my last line in the whole show. And I'm really glad that James McNamara and the writers put it there because I think Sneed's known the whole time that Jack Dodger Dawkins is an incredible surgeon, but there was pride and ego getting in the way. Whereas when we pick off at the start of season two, he's finally able to be like, okay, let's work as a team because I know you're amazing and I don't want our patients to continue to die. So let's come together, let's work together, let's be brothers. And if you watch the season, you'll see that that is easier said than done. But I think Sneed's got the best intention with that relationship from the start.
Well, speaking about surgical abilities, Sneed sticks up for Belle to her mom in front of Lady Jane, about operating on Orla. Even he calls Belle extraordinary. What makes Sneed sort of the
Yeah.
perfect mentor for Belle? As opposed to maybe Jack being a mentor to her, I guess I should say too.
True. Well, I think Sneed, he is by the book and he is traditional in the sense that he wants everything to be done the right way and to follow protocol. Whereas Jack is doing surgeries in the back of moving carriages and, on the streets, cutting people open. So I think in Sneed's mind, he's the perfect mentor to Belle because he also wants her to potentially run a hospital and be a real force in the medical field. But in his eyes, he thinks that it should be done the right way. And he understands Lady Jane and, her kind of place. Doesn't mean that he agrees with it. And that scene where he sticks up for her again was one of the most fulfilling scenes in the show to play because it's just a real turning point for Sneed where he's able to stick it to the man and be like, I care more about Belle and seeing her become an amazing doctor than I do, you know, trying to keep the powers that be happy. You know what I mean?
Well, things take quite a turn though when it comes to Martha's care. It's talk about filming
Mm.
those moments um, with Maya as well.
I love working with Maya. I think she's such a generous actor, and when she is locked into a scene, it's beautiful. Like she just disappears into Belle in the most amazing way. And even though our characters have had quite a bit of conflict, I think we both talked about how there is, it's like a family friend that you've known since you were 4 years old that as you grow up, maybe you don't necessarily see eye to eye, but there's always a love there, because you've just known each other for so long. Um, and so, yeah, I feel like we've just generated such a nice chemistry with Sneed and Bell. And even though it didn't work out for them in season one, a beautiful friendship has blossomed. And yeah, working with her is great. And she's hilarious off camera as well. And we were all very close, which makes the work, it makes it easier when you rock up to set and there's a comfortability there and there's an ease to it, and you can laugh when things are funny, and really kind of tap into the emotional work when that is required as well. And she does such an amazing job of that this season. The amount of times she had to cry, I think I did a count, it was 13 or something like that, which is intense.
The costumes on the series are just exceptional. Does it take you slipping into this period piece to find your inner Sneed?
Yes, I definitely think that the costume helps me lock into the need for Sneed. I Sneed is quite far away from me as a character in many ways. So to have costume and set to get you into that mindset and that space is really helpful. And the costume team, Marion Boyce, incredible um job. And yeah, the detail is just amazing. Like the stopwatch that I had on my costume actually worked, and there are all of
Oh,
these things felt so real. And they do a great job of just inserting you into the world in a very accurate way.
there was an interview that was done with Luke Bracey where they talk about Inspector Boxer was seen assisting Sneed after he's attacked, and they ask, "Do you think he got him help in time?" And Luke says he believes he did. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Where did you see that interview? I want to see that. That's crazy. Um, do I think he did? Well, that's a question for our season three writers, but I believe that he got to Sneed in time. That's my belief. I don't know though, like who knows? Maybe he lost too much blood, or maybe they got to the hospital in time. But that was an intense one to shoot. Blood
Was that,
everywhere.
yeah, I was gonna say, is that one you're most proud of the work you put into, or maybe was sounds like the most challenging work you did this season?
Yeah, that scene was a beautiful challenge. The scene in episode 8. Obviously, I was strapped down to that that wooden surgery table for about 9 hours, I think. Um, and I had a prosthetic on my stomach, um, blood everywhere. It was a challenging scene, but all of those elements, being tied down and not being able to move, your back seizing up, you're starving, it all fed into the performance of Sneed in that moment. And when you see your life flashing before your eyes, you obviously have to really lock into the given circumstances. And I was proud of the how it was cut together and how it all came together. I think just having Sneed's final line in that scene being, I have patients I need to care for, just encapsulates his arc for the whole season. That really his main purpose is just how can I save as many lives as possible, even on his potential deathbed.
Luke says, I certainly hope he did. They were both in some trouble with their injuries. I think it would be good for Boxer if he did manage to help save Sneed, if only for his mastering of some of his past trauma in terms of attending to someone in need and running out of
Um,
time.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, I really felt that even in the brief moments of that scene. I think Luke and I were able to really connect, and I could see that care in his eyes, even though our characters don't interact too much in the story. And I was at one point even a suspect. Um, am I giving way too much away? I hope not.
No, no, I think this is very good and insightful.
Okay, okay. Uh, yeah, I love working with Luke. He's a beautiful actor and such a great guy. And I fully agree. I think he got to Sneed in time, where the boxer, he got a bad break at the end there. So we'll see if he's gonna be okay. Because there's no doctors in the hospital right now.
That's
So,
right.
you know, that was funny seeing a few people comment on certain, TikToks and Instagram reels being like, what is going to happen to Sneed? There are no doctors. Bell and Jack are busy being in love, and Sneed's just on the ground, you
The
know.
professor's not even there. Like there's literally no
Professor's
doctors at this.
yeah, yeah. Not even the professor can tend to him. That's a and that's the bottom of the barrel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any thoughts or have you spent any time thinking about where we would pick up with Sneed if he does survive his season two injuries?
Yeah, I have. I've had some beautiful chats with James McNamara, who is just the most talented creator, writer, showrunner of all time. I won't give anything away. I won't give his secrets away, but hopefully enough people get around season two and we can lock off that season three and it'll be exciting. I think there's still more layers to Sneed that are yet to be uncovered and you will discover all in due time.
Okay. He says cryptically.
With a weird little eye twitch.
What have you personally taken away from your time working on The Artful Dodger?
It's a great question. Collaboration would be the buzzword there. You know, on such a large scale show with such talented writers and James as a showrunner, you still have so much autonomy over your character and your character's journey because the writer wants to work with you because he knows, and this is his quote, that you are your character's biggest champion and you know your character as well as I do. So there were moments as the season was going on where I really felt the instinct that Sneed would say this or would really listened to that and implemented those elements. So I think the biggest takeaway was just that you are your character's biggest champion, and even if the writer says no, you should always stay true to what you believe the character would do, and not be afraid to voice your ideas and your thoughts. I was also very lucky on this show because of the team, and wonder on other projects if that would be different. But
Mhm.
from this job, the biggest takeaway is just that the everyone wants to work together to create the best product. Often I feel like people think every department is so different and you just stick in your lane and no,
Sure.
you're creating something beautiful together and everyone wants to, hear your perspective on the situation.
What's next for you, Nicholas? Have you been busy working on some other projects recently?
Yes, I'm currently on a feature film. I definitely can't say what it is. That stupid wanky actor thing. I can't say what it is, but I will. I fear for my life if I do. Yeah, I'm working on an exciting project, shooting in Sydney at the moment, and a few things on the horizon. I've got a few shows coming out this year, and then my friend and
Yes.
I are building our production company, Granny Flat Comedy, where we do cinematic sketches every week. We've worked with Thomas, David Doulis, and Maya on those sketches, which has been great. David Doulis, yeah, he gave us 2 days of his time in the middle of shooting to shoot a sketch with us, and it was just beautiful. So building that, have some exciting, collaborations. We'll be working with one of the directors from Dodger, and just continuing to, yeah, to build a multifaceted career, I suppose.
So a little more comedy coming up these days.
Yeah, comedy, it's funny. Most of my professional acting credits are in the drama space, and that's kind of what I love. But then, on the side, releasing a lot of comedy, which is great. It keeps you on your toes, bouncing between the worlds. And I think the best dramatic actors are often quite comedically inclined. So, um, yeah, Sneed has a few comedic moments, more so in season one. But I did love jumping into the high stakes kind of dramatic circumstances of Sneed this season. It's exhausting, but it's a nice place to play in.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful work you continue to do on our screens, Nicholas?
Oh my gosh, I just have so much love for all the fans who continue to watch the show and continue to make the amazing edits that you make, and show all of the cast love. And thank you for understanding all the characters, even in their darkest moments, or the moments where you might not necessarily like them. You give us a chance, and without you, we wouldn't be able to continue working together and creating such a amazing show. So thank you.
You're so good in Dodger. I'm sure you've been getting lots of people reaching out to you, telling you what a compelling character Sneed is, how maybe they first love
Yeah.
hated him, now
Oh yeah.
they like love him a little.
It's been nice. It's been nice seeing the comments.
The
My mom,
evolution of him has been incredible.
yeah, no, it has. It has. And yeah, my mom sent me a TikTok the other day. I was like, Mom, are you on TikTok? What is going on? And she, it was like something about Sneed, and reading the comments being like, I loved Sneed this season, and his character development was so on point. And like, I please don't tell me he dies and all this stuff. I was like, this is, I mean, props to the writers for developing the character in that way. Um, but it was just really nice to see, and I felt like I had done my job as the I guess vessel, to tell that story, and bring those more human moral levels to the character.
Yeah, I saw lots of comments on Reddit and all sorts of things about how they were, much happier with Sneed's evolution this season and how they've all come to actually like this character. So, bravo for making, I guess, not a villain, but an unlikable character more
Yeah,
likable,
yeah.
bringing depth to this.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I need to read those Reddit articles. You're more tapped in than I am.
Well, do you tend to read reviews or only if like somebody points it out to you?
I tend to try and avoid it because I can get stuck in a real kind of spiral. Like the other day I reckon I spent an hour trying to figure out, how the show was being ranked, or, what it was doing on Disney Plus. And I'm like, this is not good for my brain. I need to
Yeah.
focus on the job that I'm shooting right now. But I try and avoid it. But when people post things sharing the love, it's great to see the Rotten Tomatoes score and all of these great successes.
The fan art must be amazing to you as well.
Yeah, the fan art's great. Really, really good. Really good. The
Your
edits are
mom,
so sick though. Like my mom hasn't sent me any fan art yet, but just some of the edits, like some of the edits of Dodger and I are just amazing. Like,
I was gonna say you're gonna walk home, or you're gonna come in the door one day and she's just gonna have it like all plastered with fan art of you.
oh my gosh. Look what I found, Nick. Yeah, no, totally.
It's just like all pictures of you, Dodger, like looking moony eyed at each other.
Look, there is enough of that. There is enough of that.